Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time together. Father, we thank you for Kat. We thank you for the travel that she did, that you got her safely. Father, we ask that you sit with us. Father, you open our hearts and you open our minds as we listen to Kat's story. Father, let her story reach that one soul that we're trying to reach. Let this be let somebody's heart be willing after hearing this story. Father, we ask that you sit with us and you help us and you help that one soul, Father. And we pray this in your name. Amen. Let's go to work. What? You're going to put that mic to your... Stop flipping me off. We just prayed, you dick. Hi, Robert. I like that. Or thank you for not swallowing on the mic. Dick.
Hi, Larry.
We just got done winning a football game.
Did we?
We did.
But the best part was, Larry, restraint, what we talked about, restraint of pen and tongue, which is a great AA slogan. And you, the person least likely to do that, I'm proud of you.
You know what? I'm not going to lie and not say I'm not still a little stirred up. I was talking to Katie on the way home, and I'm like, you know what? I love that I'm able to hold my mouth, right? I'm getting better at it.
Much better.
Right? And I recognized my surroundings very quickly and recognized that we're around a bunch of kids. It's a church league.
It's a church league.
We're around a bunch of kids, and I literally, as my brain started to click to the bad side, I just turned around and walked away.
You know what I was doing?
What?
As I was moving, I was about 5 feet from him, and he was talking to you. I was picking up the double leg on the ground, reverse.
You had it visioned already?
He was gone.
You had it visioned?
Yeah.
You were waiting.
Yes.
You were just plotting.
I love folding clothes with people in them.
I was folding clothes. Yeah. That was literally, yeah, it was powerful for me. I'm still a little stirred up, but
that's
you know
a
what?
Spiritual experience.
It was. You know what? I'm going to bring her in first. You know what? We started this in July 7th of 2024, and I didn't know how to do social media. I didn't have anything. I didn't have an clue what I was doing, but I started reading through, Instagram, Facebook, and going through all the sober sites and this and that. And I come across this lady, and she's, first off, her blonde and beautiful. She's gorgeous. And I started reading some of her story, and she started talking about being sober out loud. And it was one of the first ones that I'd seen ever spoken that way.
He uses that all the time.
I love it.
It's awesome.
I absolutely love it. And so I started reaching out to her on a DM, I didn't know. And I was just trying to reach out because I wanted you to come on this podcast. Yeah. And just time went by. And then our friend Jim Hart, that was just on here, got her to listen. And we are so blessed to have you here, Kat. Thank you and welcome
I'm honored
in.
To be here. Thank you.
This is, like I said, it's kind of one of those pinnacles for me, and I'm so happy to have you here. Actually, I thought I was getting catfish until I saw you last night. I'm not going to lie. Rob don't know what catfish is, Mary. Will you please explain that to our friend over there?
It's like when somebody shows up and they're supposed to be attractive and they show up and
they look like you.
And they're not.
We talked about that with
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Stephanie said something about filters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's
you were worried that I was going to be filtered.
You know what? Here's the thing. She doesn't wear a lot of makeup, so you weren't hiding behind makeup. I can promise you that. So, but yeah, no, it was just So when Jim got you, we got in touch and we started working through it. You've been a pleasure to get to know, and I'm so excited. I've listened to your story. I've read some stuff about you, and you got an amazing story. I love what you do. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on, for everything you do for your services and everything, and how you stay involved. But we're gonna get into your story.
Cool.
We want to get through that, and Rob and I will intervene and question whenever we want, and but we pretty much let you shut up
whenever we want.
Whenever we want. It is our show. Yeah. It is our show. Where do you want to start, Kat?
I want to start with Mary's Dolly Parton koozie. Is that Dolly?
As we should.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I need that. Yes. That's amazing. Man, I love me some Dolly. Okay, so we'll start at the beginning. My name is Catherine, but I go by Kat. Mm-hmm. And I was... my sobriety date is November 1st, 2015. I really didn't want to be sober this long. I'll be honest about that.
You had a plan?
I did.
I'm going to stay sober 1 year.
No, it was 30 days.
Oh,
it
no
was
shit.
30 days. I needed to get the heat off my back. I needed my family to trust me again.
Pretty common, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's pretty common.
Want your back to stop hurting?
Right.
Get her off your back, get them off your back.
Yeah. And, they say it pretty often in Southern California. I'm based out of Orange County, but, we have incredible recovery down there. And they say this, like, you caught alcoholism in the rooms. And I'm forever grateful for that, because I really didn't want this to be my thing. Like, I really anticipated a different future for myself. But
explain that a little bit, though. I mean, we're going to get clean and then.
Well, you know what? When I think about when I was younger, I've always been incredibly driven, very ambitious, like the building blocks of the human that I am today have always been there.
Right.
But some of the things that I remember most fondly was like this overwhelming feeling of like sadness and not feeling like I belonged. And
were you an only child?
No.
Okay.
I know.
She's got brothers.
I do have. I have one brother. He's 4 years older, but both of my parents were incredibly hardworking. Okay. They both worked full time. My mom went to school to get her master's when I was little, so we were at home with each other a lot. And I'm super grateful for my family. They taught me the importance of hard work, right? And I think that's so lacking nowadays. Yeah. But I just remember, never feeling okay. And just, it's weird. And I wasn't able to identify these feelings until I got into, a 12-step room and I was able to put verbiage around it, because I listened to you guys and I was like, first of all, this is like pretty common between alcoholics and addicts, like this restlessness, irritability, and discontent.
I did not realize that until I was in the rooms for a little while, and I kept hearing that repeated. Repeated. Yes,
yeah.
And then I was like, I was.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was, and then when I started going back on some of the times, and yes, I was extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah,
extremely.
Yeah, but I think we don't identify it as that. I just was like, I just don't want to feel me.
Right.
And started at a young age being able to manipulate my own feelings. And, it started, with being, I would spend a lot of time with animals. Animals have always been like a very comforting thing for me. I grew up in Colorado, so I would be out in the fields, looking for snakes and digging for lizards. And I didn't wear shoes till I was like 7, for real. And just had this wild hair, super like little towhead girl. And, I spent a lot of time alone, and, I found solace in, animals and, being in nature. So it's funny that, that's still one of my tools today for recovery is, I hike with my dogs almost every day.
Can I ask you a question? Because from listening, there's something about horses.
Yeah.
About their heartbeat. Would you please explain that?
Of course.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. So I've also, when you have like little kids, you save all their artwork or maybe. So all of my artwork is horse drawings. Like I've been obsessed with horses. And my mom taught at a high school. One of her students taught lessons. And so every Saturday morning I would go ride. And I've just always loved horses. And, it's so interesting when you get, in your 30s and 40s and you start to heal, we go back to the things. And so about 5 years ago, I was invited down to these stables. My friend was volunteering at this horse rescue. And I've always known that I love horses, but I didn't really know, exactly why. And so I started to like study them. And now I take my clients several times a week. But so essentially horses have not been given like super sharp teeth or claws to fight something off, right? But what God did give them was insane instincts, and they have the ability to feel vibrations. Yep. And so a horse can actually feel your heart beating from 100 yards away. Like that's almost an entire, it is a football field, right? It's technically 90 yards. And then, because they have to be able to react if they're going, because they're so massive, they're prey animals. Right. And, they can also turn their ears 180 degrees. They can see 300 degrees with their eyes. They're the biggest eyes of land mammals. And, they react, 0.03 seconds is how long it takes them to react to something that's behind them, which is why you have to be very careful when we never want to come up on a horse. Anyways, you walk next to a horse and within 90 seconds, your heartbeat is in sync with theirs. And they're so intelligent that they know, that if your heart is beating too fast, they lower their heartbeat to lower yours. And so they're like this energetic Xanax, and I don't share this with my clients until after, because I'm like, just take a mental note of how you feel now. Right. And, there is so much that happens that we're not even paying attention to, like our nervous systems are just up, down, and we just automatically want to, reach for the pill or the potion. Yep. And this is a way to be like, hold on, let's look at, what about sunlight? What about, taking a walk, moving our bodies, being around something this amazing. And so I always encourage my clients to find a place like the stables, find a place. Another place that I can really kind of disconnect is the driving range. I don't know why, but it's this mind-body connection. If you're thinking about anything else besides the club in your hand, you're probably, it will show.
You're going to shake it.
I used to get that way riding my bike. That's what riding my bike was when I got that solace. I never liked riding in a big pack. I loved riding by myself. Yeah. That's where I got that piece from. That's when I grew up on horses. I grew up riding.
It's Oakdale, baby.
Yeah. Well, I grew up here in Waterford, but we had horses all of our lives. And there was horses that my mom couldn't get on. She was petrified of horses. We had one named Smokey Joe. My mom could not get on Joe because my mom was petrified of Joe.
And Joe knew
it. Anybody else could get on him. Anybody. But my mom, for some reason, he was a big one, right? And my mom was petrified of him. Every time my mom would try to get on him, Joe would just kick her right back off. Yeah. Didn't want her anywhere near him. Yeah. And it was, they're very instinctive. Very. Totally. Yeah.
Well, and everybody says it just seems backwards to use such, 1,800-pound animals as therapy animals. But when you're standing next to them, there is this respect that you have for wanting to just be present, and they will reflect who you are. They are mirrors. Yep. And so rather than act crazy, many of us start to control our breath when we don't even really realize it.
Right.
And, we just have this experience that, for me, you really have to take somebody out of their, current element to be like, come try this. And then they're like, holy cow, I feel amazing. And I was like, and you're sober. You have to keep your sobriety date.
Right. That's what I'm going to get at.
Yeah. So that's one of the coolest things I get to do today.
Did you ever ride or did you?
No, I rode.
Did you ride too?
Yeah. Good. And then when I started at this horse rescue, she told me to start getting on the back of him again. And she teaches English riding. And I don't really care for English riding.
That's a different saddle too, isn't it?
Yeah, different saddle. It's so hard. You're basically controlling the horse with your thighs. And it's like a lot of, posting is, and it was just so frustrating. And every Saturday I would go and I would just, go around the ring and I would choose it's these incremental, I couldn't tell that I was getting better. And I'm not that kind of girl. I want
instant gratification, damn it.
Yeah. And I also want, this is why I love lifting weights is because I can physically see the results too. I'm putting on 45s and then next week I'm going to add 15 and, it's this ability
see progression.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So, it's been challenging. I was working with my sponsor on it and she said, do you think that maybe you don't like it because you're not good at it?
Yep.
Yeah. I said, yes, but listen, I gave myself 7 weeks and I was crying before I got there, with anxiety.
Because you're okay.
And I just didn't want to do it anymore. And it was this is my safe place. I just feel like I've given it a good try.
Were you getting resentment against the horse?
No,
or the actual process.
It was totally, and I was like, I don't even fucking want to do this.
Right.
I just
give me a damn horn saddle.
Yes, yeah, we joke all the time. But
take these stupid stretchy pants too.
Right. The boots, the freaking helmet, all of it. None of it feels normal.
If you grew up on a Western saddle, that's completely different.
Yeah,
completely different.
Yeah. So. Horses and golf has been something that I was able to get back to when I got sober. And, it wasn't, and animals are always, animals are a big part of my story. I love nature. I love just being, I think that it's incredibly healing, but no matter how much I would be in nature, I remember being like high on hikes, hungover on hikes, hoping that, isn't this going to fix me? And it never did.
No,
right.
No.
So yeah, I found alcohol at 13, just really at a friend's, brother's, party. He let us like kind of crash his keg party. And he, I don't know if you guys had like sibling or best friends and their siblings. You have like a crush on their sibling, like their older sister. Oh yeah.
My sister.
Yeah.
My sister. Sorry, let me rephrase that. My sister's friends.
Back up.
Shut up, Rob. Shut up.
That was not on your 4-step.
That was the most Waterford thing I've heard you say to
Yeah,
date.
right.
Shut up, Mary.
What in the cousin kissing? Where am I?
Well, you are in Waterford. Welcome home. Yeah, my sister had some pretty friends.
Okay. Yes.
And
So
my sister went to school with Larry.
okay.
So that she was older, and so I had older girls to look at. It was nice.
His sister and me ran around together. Well, this whole group of us all ran around together.
Yeah.
She was shorter than Rob.
She's 4'11".
Yeah.
Oh my
She's a
gosh.
little bitty thing.
Yeah.
But man, she had an attitude that was about 8 foot tall.
Yeah. Small but mighty.
Portuguese.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So, it was,
13 years old.
I was 13. He was 16.
You got a kiss.
Oh, I did.
Rob,
Sorry.
if you
It's
jump in
okay.
front of her
It's okay.
story again, I'm going to throw this bottle at you.
But it's a good, that was the amazing, like the night was, even if there was no alcohol involved and I just kissed my childhood crush, that is the best night of my life, right? I literally.
At 13?
Yes. And I had been crushed on that guy for years.
Game
right?
over.
Yeah. But then he gave us, some of the beer and we got to feel I finally got to feel okay in my own skin for the first
Was
time.
it immediate?
Yeah.
Was it
Oh
immediate?
yeah. And I knew, like, my parents had alcohol in the house. They would have parties. I didn't really see anyone drunk, but I knew that it was like fun, right? It just looked fun.
I recognized like people friends of my dad's, they would get happy, right?
Yeah.
They were normally assholes, but when they would start drinking, they'd get
Yeah.
happy. And I recognized that right away.
Yeah.
That was something I learned very, very young.
Yeah. I mean, I was just trying to get happy and impress her older brother. I didn't really realize that, like, it was going to be a numbing agent for all of the things that I had been running from or wanting to run from for so many years.
Right.
So, as the night progresses, I keep drinking. I definitely get sick. The other girls that were with get sick, but somehow throughout the night, I end up kissing her brother. And I just remember he did not want my brother to find out because my brother was like 4 years.
Oh boy.
And he was 2 years older than him, or like a year older. My brother was a senior. And he's like, dude, your brother would kill me. And I was like, he'll never find out.
When did he find out? Just now?
Yeah. I don't think I didn't. Yeah. Because then, he, his name was Kyle. Kyle fell away from the focal point. Alcohol became like my new love.
King Justice.
Yeah. And it just seemed like so amazing. And then I had access to it because my family had it. I'd be like mixing. I remember one night we were at my other girlfriend's house and we mixed all of the liquors. So tequila, vodka.
Oh God.
We even put some Old English 40 in there. It
Old
was
English 800.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Malt Liquor.
And it was like warm. I just remember throwing up. She had this huge brick wall that like there was a major highway behind it. I was just throwing up my brains, and we did it again the next morning. Like it just
Like no consequences.
no, and
Yeah.
it was fun. Like I never ever felt bad about it. Like that was what was crazy. It was like, what do you mean? This is the new like preset.
Isn't it funny now that we look back on that and realize, shit, I was an alcoholic then. Immediately knew.
You hear the story, that story, say 4 people. 3 of them will say, after the vomiting, I'm not doing that again.
Right.
But then the alcoholic, man, wasn't that the greatest?
Yeah.
I can't wait to do that again.
Yeah. For me, I was just, everybody else was headaches and everything else.
I was who I wanted to be.
I was fucking ready to go again.
For more of what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I knew I had a problem when everybody else was asleep and I was still looking for alcohol. Yeah. That was in high school.
Or dry goods.
The dry goods.
When
Here we
did
go.
those come into your story?
Rob learned a new word last night from
About
Kat.
14.
When?
About 14, 15.
No shit.
Yeah. We went
Wait, because from here, you grew up here?
I grew up in Oakdale, which is basically
Okay.
Waterford.
Okay.
Oakdale in the 80s, cocaine was like everywhere.
Yeah.
You could buy it at the
Cocaine,
drugstore.
methamphetamines.
Yeah.
He was low rent. I got hooked on the cocaine early.
I'm gutter.
Gutter.
You shoot it?
No, snort it.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Never smoke.
No.
Why?
I like the burn. I like the drain. I like the whole experience. I like to blow my head.
Right. Yeah. You know what's crazy is even in sobriety, I will do hot, spicy food.
Oh, yeah.
Wasabi
Oh, yeah.
for that exact. I mean, I try to get, or even cold plunging for the shock.
So I never tried that. I heard you say that. Yes, I've never tried
Well, they say like the dopamine hit after a cold plunge is like a line of Coke. It's like shitty Coke though. It's like what the kids use these days.
I don't want bunk. I want the good stuff.
That's funny you say it that way. I didn't even think about that, but that probably is
Why I do it every day?
That original shock is like that original shot, that original snort, right?
Well, it's that, but then what people don't understand is you sit in this freezing cold water and you shock your body, but the actual dopamine starts to rush about 5 minutes after. And this is why you do not jump in like the hot tub or even like a hot shower, is you want your body to naturally, warm itself up. Like that's where you get the real effects. Yeah. So, I mean, it all depends. Like some people do it for inflammation. Some people do it for, if they want to just increase circulation and that,
I've heard Joe talk about it. It's for mental training is what
totally.
training.
If you want to see how tough you are, go sit. And
it's just taking that out, right? Yeah. Getting yourself into a different mindset, right?
Yeah.
Not thinking of the pain, not thinking of just getting into a different spot.
Yeah.
Right. And not thinking about the pain that you're in at that moment.
Yeah.
Getting yourself
Walking through
into
fear.
Right. Getting into a different situation. I've heard nothing but great stuff about it.
Yeah. I just have to, do it.
I did it during the wintertime this last winter. Everybody kept telling me with my back and everything going on with it. You asked me about that last night. So a few times during the wintertime, I would go out there and sit in the, when the pool is, 42 degrees, I'd go out there and sit on the Acapulco deck, and try to get it. But it's not like you guys getting in at 32 degrees or 34 degrees.
39.
It's a little bit different. Well, I guess it wasn't too far off because it was 42 when I'd get into it. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the difference, though, is that the water has to be circulating.
So correct.
Yeah, when your body, like our bodies are so intelligent that they almost create this this barrier around it. So when people get into a ice bath that doesn't have like jets, like a hot tub, and the water isn't moving, essentially what happens is your body will create a little barrier around it to keep itself warm. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And so you
Defense
either have to constantly be moving your body, or you get in water that's circulating. Yeah.
I did not know that either.
Yeah.
We're learning all kinds of shit from Kat.
I'll tell you what.
Powdered good. What did she say? Dry powder? What? No,
Okay,
dry goods.
We got to explain because all of our listeners know when I talk about powdered accelerants, that's cocaine or meth.
Right.
Now, dry goods
Yeah.
is also,
Yeah, Kat said that last night at the meeting. And Rob and I both kind of looked at each other like,
I knew what she meant.
There's a new one.
Dry goods. Pillow fight.
Stop it.
Sorry.
Anyway.
What's a pillow fight?
This guy, Kat, don't get him started.
Okay.
He's a child. He's a child.
Sometimes.
He's a child.
It was from the last podcast.
You mean you're talking about his height, or
No, we're talking about sororities. And he started talking about pillow fights in a sorority. He's a child.
Got it. Okay, got it.
Anyways.
Okay.
So 13, kiss the neighbor boy.
And then it just progressed, and you don't totally recognize it during the time, but I loved it, and I've always been kind of like a wild child, so I just thought, this is like part of my pattern. But another thing that I didn't totally recognize until I came into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous is just my innate almost ability to create a double life. And so, I've had this, I've always been pretty smart. And so I've been in like AP classes.
Yeah.
I would be in tons of extracurricular. I was the varsity captain of my cheer team all 4 years in high school. And we were like gnarly, like competitive. Yeah. We traveled. I mean, it was my entire life. And my coach worked at the school. And she, if she caught wind of us even being at a party, we were benched. And if we drank, we were cut. Like no questions asked.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, it just became very natural to me to like, okay, well, you just drink before you go to the party.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I would also go to parties at other schools because I didn't want anybody to be talking about me at my school. Right.
Thank God there wasn't cell phones then.
Oh, there was. Not to our extent, though. There wasn't social media like it was.
Right.
This is 2002.
Right.
So
you guys had flip phones.
Yeah. Or I had like a Nokia, like little brick phone.
The brick phone.
Yes. So good.
That's funny.
Yeah. Those are things like.
Thank God there wasn't no cameras in the 80s.
Yeah. I know.
I'd still be in jail.
My social media team always asks me for like pictures and videos. I'm like, I literally, one, it's a like blessing.
Yeah. It is.
But two, a lot of the pictures I have, I look totally fine. They can't tell that I'm loaded, because I was so good at putting my life together.
Is that like the actor on page 30 we read about,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like everything was totally, looked normal on the outside, but absolutely on fire on the inside. So, being able to have this double life, I learned very quickly in high school, how easy it was for me to just show what I needed to show, be part of the jocks, be part of the, academic crew, be part of the, cheerleading, and then just kind of keep everyone at an arm's length and never really dove into one group, which also substantiated the fact that I don't belong, right? That I don't really fit in anywhere. So I'm just going to try to fit in everywhere.
Yep.
And then, when
you were spreading around too. You weren't getting in one spot, so somebody got to know you real well.
Yeah, and it's also a defense mechanism because we.
I don't trust anybody. I'm not going to let you get close to me. I want you to know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know who I am. I just know that I'm terrified of that girl, and that's why I'm always running from her. And so, I would come home, and my mom I did not grow up in a household where my behavior was okay, and they just didn't know what to do with me, right? And so my mom would just, try the frothy emotional appeal. Like, aren't you worried about school? Like, aren't you worried about college? Like, don't you think that, this is going to be an issue for you?
What was any kind of punishment, or was it just the strenuous talks?
They tried. I mean, they helicoptered the shit out of me. I mean, oh my gosh, it was so, the things I had to do to just
graduate in the 90s, huh?
I graduated in 2002.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm old.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. No, I think I graduated in 2004.
Okay.
And then 08 from CU.
Okay.
So, that like did kind of, there was a part of me that was like, fuck, dude, if I can't figure out college, that means I'm going to be back here.
Right.
And then I'm going to have to just continue to like be helicoptered and whatever. And so, she did, there was a fear, not so much of, am I going to die in college, but more, I'm going to have to come back and live with them. And I could not wait to get out of there. And so, again, like back to my parents, taught me the value of hard work. I was working, at a steakhouse, and there was this guy who, wasn't paying any attention to me, which is never acceptable.
No.
And I felt really untouchable and on top of the world, and was so confused why this person would not like what he wasn't like.
Do you ever have problems getting a boy to be attracted to you prior to this one?
No,
I couldn't imagine you'd have many problems with that.
I was in straight delusion. So, I didn't really have that many issues, but, he was not having any of it. And I did everything to make this man jealous. Like told him about the upperclassmen that I was with on all the keg parties. I fabricated all of the stories to make it sound even better. And he was just so not impressed. Yeah. And so
Gay.
That's exactly it.
Or a man of faith, one of the two.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that he was a man of faith. And so, I did ask him, I was like, are you gay? Like, what is the deal? And he
Sounds like something Larry would say.
I would have.
Yeah.
He looked at me so disgusted and he was like, no, you're not a Christian. I have no desire.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And, his parents raised him right. And so, I'd never heard that before. And I am always one for a challenge.
Right.
So.
There you go. Game on.
Yeah. So later that night, it might have been, the next, I was very intrigued. And I was like, what does that have anything to do with anything?
Right.
I grew up going to church on Christmas and Easter. Like, I don't really understand why.
Right. That was your Christianity.
Yeah. And so, we were rolling silverware in the back of this restaurant. And I just said, what do you mean by that? And he said, listen, like the things that you're doing right now to really, like feel whole, essentially, the partying, the drugs, the men, Jesus died for you
right
on the cross so that you could live a life of freedom. Like he loves you so much that the things that you're doing right now to feel love, it doesn't even compare to how much he loves you.
Was he doing that witnessing right in at work?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a man of faith right there, buddy.
Oh yeah. And so, we just, to him, this is probably like a no big deal conversation, right? I went home and, I was totally curious and I knew that I needed to have a change in my life. And so I dusted off this like old King James version we had in a guest bedroom. And he gave me a few verses to read out of John and Matthew. And I just got there on my knees and I asked Jesus into my heart. And I really did feel a transformation. And I went back to work the next day and I told him and I just had this like warm feeling of like,
Holy
now
Spirit.
I know the Holy Spirit.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
And so I went back to work the next day and I told him like, I did what you said and like I feel different. And he was like, that's good.
Can we date now?
Yeah. I really didn't. I promise you, I really didn't have that as my motive.
Right.
And so he invited me to church, and then here I find out like his church is a Bible church, and they have all these elders, and his dad is essentially an elder, which is a pastor. And I'm like, wow, he's the pastor's son. And he gets me involved in their it's called college and career group, so like younger people, and I start going to Bible study, and I do have a massive transformation and just felt the power of Jesus flowing through.
Was that the first? You said you grew up like going through grew up going to church, right?
Yeah.
You were a creaster, which is what my wife calls it,
right,
a creaster.
Right.
But you never felt the Holy Spirit move through you before that?
No.
Before that moment?
No.
God's timing.
Yeah, totally. I don't think I was available for it.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. So
willing heart.
Totally.
Yeah.
And, my parents loved the transformation. They thought it was a little strange, but they would much prefer this version of me than the other version.
Right.
And so, he and I started to spend more time together. And then, we would, after work, we would go line dancing. And I mean, we had a lot of fun together. And I had never really been with a man that respected me and would drop me off and, on time and would walk me to my door and would know like weird stuff. And
That had to be pretty impressed.
Yeah. I mean,
No drinking during that period of time? You cut it.
No.
It
It was
was
gone.
Wow.
It was gone.
How old were you?
18.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was right as I was graduating college. So high school. So I was going to my college like a few months later. And he was attending a community college, and was still working at that restaurant. And, we got very close over that summer. I went to school in Boulder and, I got baptized, right before I went to school. And then really we just like were hanging out all the time. He was always in my dorm room. We were always going to like Bible studies and getting like super involved in, they did have quite a bit of stuff available to you. And we got engaged that following Christmas. So I was 19.
Wow.
And my family was like, now this is a little weird because you're so young.
Right.
But they had loved the transformation. And so my parents are very much about higher education. They're like, she is going to graduate. Like, this is not like get her pregnant, and they said, as long as she graduates, we support it. And so we got married when I was 20, and there was alcohol at our wedding, but I didn't drink. And then, I moved, my dad helped us buy a little condo, and I had 2 years left of school, and we would have, dinner parties with his family. And I do remember I would like try having like a glass of wine, and what would happen is my mind was hijacked the whole rest of the night. It was just like, I didn't know that this was alcoholism, but I do have an allergy of the body, which means that if I have one, that my whole like mental outset is now lit on fire, and I am obsessed with the second and the third and the fourth. And so it got to the point where I just stopped drinking entirely, because I was like, this is so annoying. I couldn't even be present for conversations, right? I was just like, I was able to white knuckle it and only have one. But I just remembered like, this isn't worth it, right? Because I would immediately, my brain would go to, I want to drink that whole bottle. I want to be drunk. I would drink to get drunk,
Yeah.
And it was really confusing to me to be, having those feelings, because I really thought that when I accepted Jesus, all of that would go away.
All that's going to be fixed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's going on here?
Right. Right. I was like, wait.
So you were about 3 years in that at this point.
Yeah.
Right? You're about 3 years.
Yeah. And, instead, also something I learned about, the disease of alcoholism is it manifests in other areas. And so, I put a lot of energy towards school. I was obsessive about running. I got a little Jack Russell, and she was just the love of my life. And I, took her to class, and we would hike and run every day. And
those things have endless amounts of energy.
Totally.
Endless. Three bodies will take to wear one of them things out.
Yeah. Well, I would be running so much that when I got her leash out, she hid under the bed because she was over it. I mean, I was alcoholically running like 10, 20 miles a day. Like, it was insane. And it got to a place where, the thoughts and the feelings came back again of, you don't belong here. Right. I was in all college schools are party schools, but CU had a huge college, or party community. And like, I would see the girls that I went to high school with that I used to party with, and they're now in, sororities and like,
stop it, Rob.
Right.
Mother.
Sorry.
Having pillow fights.
It's a child.
And, it's like, okay, I don't belong here either. And then I started to I didn't know how to verbalize these feelings. And so
because we don't know though, right?
We don't.
We don't.
We don't.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know till I was sober for a year and a half that's what I was feeling.
Totally.
4-step.
Yeah.
Right.
Be the step work.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
in the doctor's
well,
opinion,
I heard it in the rooms, right? I heard multiple people say it in the rooms, and I'm like, fuck are they talking about? And then the more I heard them explain it, I'm like, that's it.
When I read the doctor's opinion for the first time, or, when I was in recovery or in Maynard's, the phenomenon of craving. What is that? Oh, okay. And now I get it. I couldn't fight the obsession, the first drink,
Yeah.
I take the first drink just to kind of shut, and when your body makes that sound.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You two monkeys are like twins.
But I didn't realize, okay, then once I do that, then I couldn't explain why I didn't know where I'm going to go, how much more I'm going to drink, what else am I going to put in my body. I didn't realize that part of it.
You're right.
That it wasn't, it's not when you get hit by a train, it's not the caboose that kills you. It's it's the first one, the first drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sound.
Yeah.
That feeling.
Yeah.
A feeling. And for me, most of the time, it was to stop the shakes, right? I drink.
But at first, for me, it was okay. Getting ready to go. It's preparation. It's medicine.
It was for me early on.
Get my mind right.
It was for me early on. You know, we were just talking last night. I mean, I get that instantly where I have to have whatever I just had to make me feel good. I had to have it again.
Yeah.
I just the way my body's wired.
Yeah.
So
disease of more.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, you know, I didn't really, again, have a platform or avenue we would go to Bible studies and I just couldn't verbalize. I didn't know this stuff about not feeling okay in my own skin, you know, and I graduated and I did really well in school and I got a job that sent me to a sales conference, like sales training conference that first year. That first month that I was working for them. And, you know, I walk in and I see fun, like outgoing people just like me and they're drinking.
Yep.
And I tell myself, hey.
Did you have the 3 rivers rule?
What's that?
If you cross 3 rivers, all bets are off. It's okay.
Okay. What's that mean?
He's talking about if you get far enough away from home. Oh. If you get far enough away from home, you're okay, right?
Some of the guys would say if you cross 3 rivers, that means...
That means it doesn't count.
What happens there stays there.
Right, right. Yeah, no, I didn't know that rule, Rob.
But now I do.
Well, so, you know, I justified to myself, it's been some time, right? And then the first night.
I can drink like a gentleman now.
Yeah. Well, and I actually didn't even try. I just got hammered.
Oh. Well, that's what you do at conferences, right?
Yeah. I just, you know, I just followed suit, to be honest. And for the first like few conferences, it was like fun. They loved me. I could be my old self. Plus I was married and like had that life too. And it felt like, okay, this is what I was missing. Right. And then it just progressed where, you know, you light the allergy and I mean, I'm drinking.
You had a good balance. You had a good balance to begin with.
Yeah.
Your balance got tipped.
Totally. Totally. And then, you know, out at a I would even like suggest to my husband like, hey, let's have wine tonight, and he'd be like, what do you mean? Because he knew the old me, right?
Yeah.
And so
so he never drank at any time.
He would have a beer but he knew from the jump that I was an alcoholic.
Okay.
He sent me to AA meetings.
Oh wow. Okay.
Or to one, and then I was like, I don't belong there. I sat in the parking lot the whole time.
So you never made it in the building?
I can't remember. I either made it in the building, but I didn't go in the room. I was like, this is, I still had my, you know.
You fucking people are weird.
Right.
Why are you chanting? What are you chanting?
Right. So,
Serenity.
So when we, you know, like I knew that I kind of had to hide it from him because he had this like idea that I was an alcoholic, but I, you know, had to get really honest with him when I was at a trip. And the last thing I remember was being at the hotel bar, and then I woke up in another man's bed. And that sucked because I never wanted, he was my dream man. Like I legitimately loved him with my whole heart. No. I could not even imagine. I was like, what the fuck? Like, how did I do this? Like,
how did I get here?
Yeah. Now I carried it a little too far.
Right.
And so I went home and I told him, and he was devastated. And, you know, he said, you got to stop drinking. And I was like, in my mind, not one cell of my entire body thought that would ever be an option. I told myself that somebody must have put something in my drink. Like I just did whatever I could to
rationalize.
Yes.
Justify.
Yeah. And I was like, you know, I said what I needed to say. Like, of course, yes. You know, let's just make this better. Yeah. And then it would happen again. And then I was like, damn it. Okay. Well, I did, you know, because I would be like, I just didn't eat enough, or somebody put something in my drink. And, you know, it was just it was like, I'm hurting this person. And so we agreed that I would quit my job because it was the job, right? Even though he knew it wasn't. And we moved to the small mountain town, you know, and
geographical change.
Yeah. And, you know, it was like our last ditch effort to start over. We got in a new church, and, you know, I started doing Bible study, and, you know, I do what I always do. I last for about 4 months, and then, you know, the itch comes back.
You get thirsty.
Yeah.
You show up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And, you know, in this circumstance, a client showed up of mine with a bag of cocaine, and I was like, sure, run it. you know, and it was like, I just knew I have this.
That's an itch.
Yeah.
You weren't even drinking?
Oh, I had like been sneaking a little,
Right.
you know, because I could never like stay stopped.
Right.
But it was really, and here's how I rationalize my drinking all the time is like, well, as long as I'm, you know, in like a safe environment and I like don't.
There's not a man around?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I'm like doing it at home.
Right.
You know, and then like, just in an environment that, you know, with other girlfriends that are going to drop me off, you know, like it was never safe. It was always a risk. And so I hated myself so much though. You know, I didn't have a way to really sort through the guilt and the shame of what I had done to him at that point, and just how like I just felt so shitty about myself that it was only a matter of time if I didn't do the work, you know, and he really came from the you know, ideology that Jesus can just make you clean.
Right.
And I believe that, but I don't think that faith can dig out the poison. And I really think that the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous is the only thing doing a thorough 4th and 5th step, doing the 9th step, making an amends and going up and cleaning up the wreckage of my past has been the only thing that has helped me. That might not be, you know, somebody
But
else's
do you think
experience.
it's this, Kat? It's not, Jesus can, you know, God, because I believe firmly, and of course, if we have a resentment, a fear, guilt, shame that we want to be rid of, if we still hold on to that, there's one reason. It's either your God's not strong enough or you're not willing enough to let it go. It's not God's to take.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not ours to give.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not his to take. It's ours to give.
Yeah. So you said it right the first time.
Yeah. If you're not going to give it,
Right.
he's not going to take it.
Yeah.
And it's just that simple. But I mean, because guilt and shame are not the same thing. Guilt is, because the shame is what got me. And once we confess
Yeah.
and we own,
Yeah.
the guilt should be gone.
Yeah.
It was taken. But guilt is, I did bad. Shame is, I am bad.
Right.
And
Right.
that's what used to bite me, because and if I am, and I'm going there anyway,
Yeah.
you know, because I could have swore going to church all my life, you know, growing up, the pastor would say, you know, don't touch, don't eat, don't drink. And I could have sworn when I was about 13, he looked at me, young man, and if you even think about doing it, it's just as bad as doing it. And I'm
Right.
like,
Then might
thinking,
as well.
I've been thinking about that for
Right.
all my life. I might as well touch it then.
Right.
And
Right.
if I'm going to hell, might as well have fun.
Exactly.
But the shame is what got me. 'Cause
Yeah.
I didn't know that I just did wrong. I thought I was wrong. I'm just broken.
Yeah.
So
I think when you are and maybe this is just the message that I have is I had this unreal expectation that knowing Jesus was the same as walking with Jesus. And
No.
right.
Right.
And that, you know, I felt like I had this superficial faith, and that like I didn't truly know. And this is why I have the story that I have, is because knowing him and having him pick me up out of the deepest pits of darkness and never leaving and always coming back for me no matter what has helped me understand his love and undying, like just devotion to me, and that I'm the one that leaves. Right.
We forsake him. He doesn't forsake us.
100%. Yeah. I mean, he didn't go anywhere.
No, we didn't lose him.
Right. Right. Yeah. So I just, you know, I just continued to pile more and more guilt and shame. And then finally, you know, I ran off to Mexico with a guy, and I called my husband from the airport. I was like, hey, I'm in Mexico. And he was like, you're where? I was like, yeah. Can you come get me from?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. He didn't fly to Mexico, but he came and got me at DIA. And I was just broken. I was broken. I was like, just please give me a divorce. Like, it's just, I can't keep doing this. Like, there is something in me. I got to go get it out of my system. And, you know, I think that's a lie that we tell ourselves, because I just didn't really understand the disease of alcoholism, like that it's insatiable, it's fatal,
You just thought
it's
it was
progressive.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
You thought you were just broken.
yeah, 100%. And I, you know, when I have,
and we're broken.
yeah. When I have one, you know, my appetite isn't satisfied. When I have 100, it's not satisfied. You know, it's only intensified. And I didn't understand that. And so, you know, he granted me the divorce. We had a separation. And then for about the next 7 years, it was me just going to the deepest, darkest places, really rebelling against God. Like, you know what? You weren't in this marriage, and you weren't in church, and
You didn't protect me from that. You didn't protect me
from myself.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. If you love me so much, come and get me.
Right.
And he did. You know, he never left me. I had times in some of my darkest, you know, deepest, like furthest away, and like he left the 99 and came for me. And he would send, I believe that God, you know, sometimes sends people, you know, and he, like, people would randomly come up to me, and they would like not even know me, and they would just say, God, he still loves you so much, and he wants you to come home.
That just gave me chills.
Yeah. And
Gives me chills.
it's like, who are you? You know, and I would just get angry. I'd push it away. And I wanted him to just radically heal me, like make me clean. I didn't want to have to do the work. I didn't want to have to change my lifestyle. I didn't want to have to actually.
Easier, softer.
Exactly.
Easier, softer way.
Yeah. So, you know, I did what alcoholics do best in 2013. I found myself really kind of in a pit of despair and just totally struggling. I decided that I needed to move again, and I moved to California to be close to my brother and his kids.
Who needs the cold weather anyway?
Yeah, right. Well, I was in Atlanta at this point.
Okay.
I had moved to Atlanta.
Who needs the humidity anyway?
Oh my gosh, Atlanta was awful. But I wrote myself a letter on the plane. Hey, it's going to be different. This is for real this time, right? And within 24 hours, I'm at the local bars.
Do you still have that letter?
It's on an iPad, but yes, I do. I know.
Do you go back and read that at all?
You know, I haven't in like 5 years, but I need to. Yeah, I would like to put it in my book.
I was just saying,
writing.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, really, I had told myself that this was going to be different, and it wasn't. And you know, now the consequences and the stakes were higher because I have my brother and his kids right up the street. My brother gets a front row seat to you know, all that I'm doing.
But can I ask, you didn't have any more respect for him than you had for your mom and dad, right? I mean, there was no, I can't do this in front of my brother because you were doing it in front of your parents.
You know, I'd been getting away with it for so long, and I just had gotten reckless. Really.
Okay. So you didn't care anymore.
No.
Gotcha.
I think, and I thought.
But in our minds, you're probably going to go be super aunt, and we're going to do all these things.
And I'm totally normal in my mind.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, where this is going to fix it. This is going to fix it.
Yeah.
It's geographical.
Yeah. And man, I just, I remember the day he came over to my house and he walked in my apartment, and he's like, you got to figure it out. He's like,
how long had you been in LA at that time?
Almost a year.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Didn't take him long.
Well, I had accumulated quite a bit of wreckage by then. And, I mean, they don't even know the half of it, really.
Where were you at with your employment at this time? Were you with
I went back to, I was working for a corporate company, selling software.
Okay.
And I was able to work out of my home, which is like an alcoholic's
dream.
I work
dream and nightmare.
I've been working from home since 2005.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd been sober for a year. McKenna had found a bottle still shoved in my desk. I forgot it was back
Crazy.
there.
Yeah. So, you know, I was able to manage and create that double life, and nobody really knew I was struggling. And, you know, when my brother said, you gotta cut the shit, like Thanksgiving's coming up. This was in September of 2015. Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas, like, I don't want you around. And I really was assuming that, you know, going to get, I was like, all right, I get it. So, you know, I lived in this incredible beach apartment right in downtown San Clemente. It's so amazing. I've had God's favor since I can remember. I mean, I truly have. And I have this incredible apartment. And you go out to my balcony and you overlook, and there's all this beautiful ocean and the train that runs through the town. And, you know, I would just wake up every day thinking today's going to be different. And by, you know, 10 a.m., I'm, you know, reaching for the pills, whether it's Adderall or Xanax. or I have, vodka in the freezer, or
Adderall or Xanax. That's going two different directions.
well, I'm my own chemist. So
Okay.
however I want to feel.
Better
Right?
living through chemistry.
I am my own chemist.
Hey, but I appreciate the liquor in the freezer. That's where my Jack Daniels was, in the freezer.
Yeah.
Why water it down with ice?
Right. And I preferred clear alcohol because it was, better for you. So I
You
told
can hide it
myself-
better.
Yeah. And
So you tell
Right.
So you tell yourself.
Yeah. And I really, I became an expert at hiding, getting what I needed.
Master manipulators.
Totally. I think I was born with that, and part of my character defects is I take that way too far. But when I can actually align that and have balance in that, I'm a pretty good salesperson. I'm pretty influential and can have some impact for good things. Right. So having, broken promises to myself day in and day out, I was like, I'm just going to be a slave to this forever. And that train looked really good. That train seemed like a real easy way to go.
Easy way out.
The barn for you.
Yeah.
Larry had a
I
barn.
remember,
Larry had a barn.
I remember that in your story. Yeah. And the
Does it still hurt you to talk
Yeah.
about that? It takes you to that spot,
Yeah,
huh?
it's
I tell
crazy.
people this. When Jim was here and I heard him talk about his, and then hearing you say it like that, it just takes you to that thought process. Only for a moment now.
Good.
Right?
I hope it does.
Right? Only for a moment
Don't
now,
forget
but
that.
I still feel that deep despair for a moment,
Yeah.
right? And I'm able to bring myself right back out and go, please don't ever take me there again.
Yeah. I wish that any of that kept me sober. Right. It never does. It never does. The feeling of, what happened even a
Right.
week ago, a day ago.
Right.
But it does allow us to still stay connected to the newcomer and have this feeling of empathy and sympathy because
It keeps me from going back into my depression.
yeah,
Those thoughts, that has nothing to do with my drinking, but that keeps me out of my depression.
Yeah.
Is remembering how deep I was.
Yeah.
And no fucking way am I putting myself back
Sure.
in that hole. When I know it and I can feel it, I don't want to go there.
yeah,
I just remember that how dark those days were.
Yeah.
Right? Just dark. And
yeah,
and I just don't ever want to go back there again.
Yeah.
It's a miserable place to be. That had nothing to do with my drinking.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably did, but it was just that depression. It was just brutal.
yeah.
Anyways, sorry.
Well, I had, I still had my Jack Russell at that point, and I had gotten another dog who I would try to force to run with me, and he didn't really like it either. But at that time, they were like 12, 13, and I would just look down at their little gray faces, and they were the longest relationships I had ever. They had gone through all the moves from me.
They didn't care if you got drunk.
They didn't. They didn't. And they were, we had been through it. And I couldn't bear to leave them. And so, when my brother came in my apartment and, asked me to get some help, it was almost a relief. Because it was like, you don't even know the fight that I've had. Like, thank God somebody kind of found me out. And I had always been very active in the gym and, always tried to work out. Amazing what results you can see when you stop drinking and, stop staying up for 3 days at a time. You start feeding your body besides vodka. But, I was at this gym and this woman, I would talk about, how I was on these benders and, like how amazing I am for showing up to the workout, even though I hadn't slept. And, since Tuesday, and it was like a Friday morning and just like, bragging about all my
thought
escapades.
it was bragging.
Right. And this amazing, beautiful woman would just like kindly like look at me and she'd be like, if ever you want to talk about sobriety. And
Was she
like,
older?
Yeah. She was like 10, 15 years older. She had 15 years of sobriety. Beautiful.
Do you still know her?
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
she's like our age.
Yeah. She is, we had dinner about 8 months ago.
Okay.
And she was my Eskimo. She met me that afternoon. She was the only person I knew who was sober. And so when my brother said,
Eskimo.
that's what it's,
I
is
like
that a
that.
new, is that a new?
I had never heard that before.
Yeah.
Is that the reference to the big book where the Eskimo?
I actually don't know where it came from.
Oh.
Yeah. But, she, when my brother said like, you need to get some help, I reached out to her through Facebook Messenger and I said, hey, can we talk? And we met that afternoon. She said, sure, like when a hand for help reaches out. I mean, she was there.
Absolutely.
And we had a conversation.
I am responsible.
That's right. That's right. And we had a conversation at a little restaurant, and I just broke down. I was as honest as I could be at, 0 days of sobriety, and just told her, I mean, mostly about how I felt, hopeless, and that, I felt like I had no purpose, and that I would just wake up telling myself today is going to be different. And it wasn't. And it was to the point where I was, borderline suicidal and fantasizing about throwing myself, in front of a train and making a very permanent decision, and didn't even really talk about the substances. And she just said, I have great news that, you don't have to feel like this anymore. She's like, I felt the way that you have felt, and I'm free today. She's like, the not so great news is that the solution is Alcoholics Anonymous. And I was like, ugh.
Damn fuckers.
Yeah. I was like,
I was almost there one day.
Yeah. And I was like, no, like, I just was convinced that she misheard me, like, what do you mean? I was like, whoa.
Isn't there a pill?
Right.
Isn't there a pill that I could take?
Exactly. Or a book or a doctor or like some type of like magic, like, retreat. And I honestly had tried all those things. Like, I had tried the retreats. I tried years of therapy, analyzing and psychoanalyzing my family and genealogy and all this bullshit, and she just said, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. And I was like, okay, fine. A white flag. What do I need to do? And she said, there's a meeting every morning, less than, 2 miles from here. She's like, you need to have your butt in that seat. I was like, for how long? And she said, as long as it takes. And so, next morning I dragged my, sorry ass in there, and I sat in the back.
Sober?
And, yeah.
Okay.
But I had drank that day before I met with her, so it wasn't my.
Right.
That was September 9th, 2015. And I was broken and just bawled my eyes out, and they just smiled and said, keep coming back. And
it's crazy.
It was so crazy.
So that's this time 10 years ago.
Yeah,
you were
exactly.
in the rooms.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so then, I would call her after my meetings, and I was like, now what do I do? And she's like, we go do, like, what do you do? Work? I was like, yeah.
I normally get drunk.
Right. And she's like, okay, go work, and then call me at lunch. And I called her at lunch, and, she's like, go for a walk. And then I would go to a night meeting, and then I would remember like making it like 24 hours. And I was like, okay, but I was still taking Adderall. And I told her, and she was like, let's just worry about the alcohol at this point. Right.
Yep.
Smart.
So, I was like, all right. And she's like, if you can't stay sober for 7 days, you're going to have to go to rehab. And I was like, go to what? I was like, what? No way.
Only alcoholics go to them places.
Right. And so, that scared me. I stayed at her house a few nights because I was just like shaking. And I was like, I don't really trust myself.
Yeah.
And we made it through. And, the biggest thing is that, like going to rehab was like, to me, a huge outward like declaration that I have a problem.
Right.
And I couldn't tell people that I had this, I was still trying to cover up. And so, I remember getting a week and then, just being like ecstatic, like getting through my first Friday night. And the thing about the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous is that they welcomed me there, and they were so happy. It was like, finally, I felt a part of something.
Right.
And I wasn't really welcome anywhere at that point. Right. So, they would do really fun things. They went on camping trips. And as the time progressed, it was October 31st. So it was Halloween night that I like flushed all the pills. So like roughly like 6 or 8 weeks later, I flushed the pills, and I was like, if I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to do this thing.
Yeah.
And so that's why I celebrate my sobriety date is November 1st, 2015. And so this upcoming year is going to be 10 years.
But your alcohol was September.
Yeah.
Double digits.
I know.
Good for you.
Are you cured at double digits?
Nope.
Oh. Does it just get worse?
No, it gets better. It's progressive.
Are you
just like
cured at double
just like alcoholism is progressive,
Yeah.
sobriety is progressive. It just gets better.
I know
It
that.
is.
I know
Yeah.
that. Yeah, the best is yet
But
to
10
come.
years is I mean, they're all milestones
Yeah.
because as we talked about in many of our podcasts, there's you go to a conference, they usually, except the crap you went to over in the international, whatever, they'll do a sobriety countdown.
Crap I went to?
Yeah. Anyway, I got calls from you. So they do a sobriety countdown, and you don't see a lot of
No.
6 to 10.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because that's when life gets good.
Right.
Yeah.
And they, I don't really need a meeting today, or they forget to do the 3, pray, they quit praying, quit working with others, quit fellowshipping,
Yeah.
and they go back out.
Yeah.
So you don't see a lot of those. So that is a real milestone.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, though, that anytime I hear somebody come back in, I want to know why.
And it's
right?
usually the big 3.
Yeah, and our buddy Brad always says to me, "Why do you care why?" Because I want to fucking learn.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
I want to know why. What were you thinking? What were you doing? What weren't you doing?
What weren't you doing?
What weren't you doing?
Yeah.
Talk to me. I want to know, right? Because I want to make sure when I'm feeling that I'm protecting myself, that I don't go down that hole.
Yeah.
Right. I only got, well, I shouldn't say only.
Never.
Don't say
only.
Ever.
I got a little over 3 years, and I don't ever want to go down there.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
It's not even 5 years for me, the 3 to 5. I don't ever want to go down there. I would not change this serenity and peace that I have for anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Katie knows it. My kids know it. My serenity and peace comes before anything.
Yeah.
Because without it, they don't have me.
We don't have anything.
Yeah,
Anything
I don't.
you put in front of your sobriety,
You're gonna lose.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I refuse
So what did you
to
work?
give that up.
What did you get a sponsor? Work the steps, Kat.
I was about 4 or maybe 6 months. I was pretty reluctant to I guess we're going here. I was pretty reluctant to work the steps because my life got really good at about
that window of willingness starts to close.
Yes. Yeah. Things get better. I mean, naturally,
Yes.
You kick alcohol and drugs out of your life and you get into a group of positive people. You start being more consistent with showing up for yourself, for work. You start to feel better about yourself. Things will get better, right?
Promises.
Right. It's only a matter of time, though. If you're a real one, like the real sickies that's described in our book.
That cat on page 52, if you're that.
That's right.
It's coming.
That I am, that things get weird. And so, I'm 90 days sober and I am loving, maybe I'm 60 days. I'm loving life. I'm going to my morning meeting. I'm showing up for workouts. I'm going on like so many walks with women. And my Eskimo would be like, how are you with like the steps? Because she was really pretty far removed from the fellowship. She just said, you need to get in there. I can't sponsor you because I have 4 kids. She's adopting 2 more from Africa. She's a nurse, very like huge woman of faith. She spent a lot of time like in service at her church.
At church.
And so she was like, I really think you need to get more, your sponsor needs to be involved in the fellowship. I said, okay, yeah, cool. All while looking at the steps and thinking that those really for like the real low bottoms.
Yeah. That's for you. I'm good.
Right. Like,
got
look-
this.
I don't
look
need
how
to tell anybody my shit.
Right. I was like,
Inventory.
I was like, I can stay stopped. I had 60 days. I could stay stopped without the steps. So why am I going to do all that
got
work?
it.
Right.
I got it.
And then, my other drug walks in and he's, tall with muscles and tattoos and athletic.
My other drug.
Right? Yeah.
And he was 30 or fresh out of rehab.
I got 2 of
legitimately.
those 3, by the way. Tall, tattooed.
Attaboy. Attaboy.
Sorry. Anyways,
If you two mated.
let's try.
We did spoon one time when we were up to,
You wouldn't lay still long enough.
yeah, he's a cuddler. He's a cuddler.
Really?
Yes, he is.
Were you big spoon or little spoon?
Are you
Oh,
kidding me? I curled him up like a little ball,
Really?
like a pillow.
So, anyways,
That went dark.
this gentleman walked into my morning meeting. And,
Hold on, I can see what's coming now.
yeah, you already know. I mean, it was game over. I'm an untreated alcoholic, right? That is 60 days dry, who thinks that I have all my shit together because I have gotten 60 days of abstinence. And then I meet a man who just got out of rehab who is probably also looking for his next high. And we make eye contact, exchange phone numbers in the parking lot afterwards. We are texting that whole afternoon. I can't wait to see him the next morning. We sit next to each other. We go to breakfast after. You know, we're finding out we have so much in common.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? What could go wrong?
No sponsor to bounce things off
Right,
of. So
right. I mean,
running unattended is always good.
Running unattended.
Unsupervised, just out in the wild. And yeah, we go to breakfast and he puts his hand on mine and says, "You're going to be my wife." And I said, "I know." And so he proposes 2 weeks later, and I gladly accept because it makes sense to.
Because it made total sense.
Right. And then, you know, I introduced him to my Eskimo. I was like, "Oh my gosh, you got to meet him. He's amazing. He loves Jesus too. And he's a professional golfer.
Oh.
So my dad's going to be so proud. And he's really good looking. And, you know,
And mom's going to be proud.
right. He's sober." And she was like, just shaking her head, like, "No." She's like, "You really need to get a sponsor. Like, I love this for you, but let's focus on the steps." She's like, "It doesn't mean you have to break up with him, but let's like really," she tried to convince me that the steps were important. And I was just so high on the relationship.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he and I convinced each other that we were going to just be like boy meets girl on AA campus. And we were only going to be that much better and effective as leaders.
What could go wrong?
A sober power couple.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just went to the courthouse and got married a week after that. And so I had known this man for 21 days. And we got married, and I went to this woman's house to tell her how excited I was that I got married. And I just said, "Hey, you know that guy that I was telling you?" She's like, "Yes." And I was like, "It was too good to be true because he's married to me." And
Lucky she didn't punch you.
Yeah.
she literally, her mouth dropped to the floor.
Yeah.
She was like, "What did you do?" I was like, "I got married." And she's like, "Oh my
Good
gosh."
grief.
She's like, "Is this real?" I was like, "Yeah." And I had like the court papers and everything. And, you know, he and I marched into our morning meeting the next day, and everyone thought that we were batshit
Just
crazy.
as proud as
We were
can be.
so proud.
Chest just blown out. Look at us. We got this shit whipped.
Right.
Yes,
This is
whipped.
the promises.
We don't need no damn steps.
Nope.
Do it our way.
If
Yeah.
we're painstaking, look,
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So, you know, we lasted for, I don't know, a good like 3 weeks doing like really awesome.
another 21 days.
Yeah. And then we are traveling, and I like would bring him with me to travel. And we were in Florida, and I was at this conference, and he said, we're about to go to bed, and he said, "You know, I think I could drink again." And I was like, "Oh my God." And
Run.
I know I just was like, "Oh shit." And I was like, "Really? Okay." And he's like, "Yeah, cocaine is my thing." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, I know that I cannot drink. You know, I just know that about me. But if you think that you can, try, I guess. I don't
That's impressive that you got to that without going through your steps, and that you had gotten to that realization that you knew you just could not drink.
Yeah.
Right. You knew the first step was not taking that drink.
I had tried. I had spent years trying to manage my drinking, you know, and like I just
so that experiment failed so many times. you knew.
So I had the research, I had the R&D to back it up, you know, and it was just a very, you know, that I always go back to that feeling of when I have just one, my mind is hijacked, and it's just annoying,
Right.
you know. So I knew that I couldn't, and then it was only a matter of time, probably weeks, that, you know, he didn't come home one night, and he stopped sharing his location. And I said, "Hey, is everything okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just got into like a minor fender bender. I stopped and had a few beers at the bar." I was like, "Oh, okay. What?" And then he went from having a few beers at the bar, and he was at his dealer's house.
That fast.
That fast.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, that
I haven't heard it described any other way.
No.
Right. In
Yeah.
the short time I've been around here, I have never heard the relapses or I can try this one more time. I've never heard it go any other way.
Yeah.
It was back.
If they're the real
instantly.
deal.
Right.
Yeah.
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 I know for a fact I would be. I know damn well I would be.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't survive, but I would be.
Yeah. So, this is the first time that I'm now on the other side of the addict.
That's what I'm saying.
right?
Did you recognize that?
No.
What
I was
you
like,
did to husband number one, husband number two kind of did to you.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have this like queen baby mentality. So don't you know that that's not going to happen to me, right? It's like divorce immediately. But I did beg and plead and be like, I don't understand. Like, can you just come home and like, let's figure this out? And he couldn't come home. He couldn't stop. I was devastated, and thank goodness I had smart feet.
He was gone again.
Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't. He could.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't.
Yeah.
He chose other.
Yeah, of course. And so,
Isn't it thinking about that? I mean, think about that for a second, right? You felt it. You knew what sobriety felt like, right? You had a hardworking, sober, beautiful woman at home, and he still couldn't make it home.
Yeah.
Still couldn't make it. That's
Cunning, baffling,
That's totally
powerful.
still the grip it had on him had no clue. No clue.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, thankfully I had smart feet and
Didn't drag you with him.
Wait, she knew where to go.
I just went to the meetings. I was
Right.
bawling my eyes out. These girls at one of the meetings were like, what is going on? Are you okay? Did who died?
Right.
And I was like, I mean,
My husband.
my husband relapsed. I don't know what to do. And, I'm not like drinking didn't really sound like fun, but I just was really scared I was going to relapse.
Right.
And so they were like, well, who's your sponsor? And I was like, I mean, I guess me. And they were like, that's your problem. And they're like, call, and they gave me their sponsor's number, and I called her, and, she was like, okay, I mean, I'm glad you didn't drink. Like, it's a miracle that you didn't, to be honest.
It truly was.
Yeah. And, she's like, let's get to work. And I was like, absolutely. After I divorced this man. And she's like, oh no, you don't.
No,
She's like, you don't.
Good sponsor.
Yeah. She's like, you don't get to play this God card of, I want to be married. I want to be divorced. Like, she's like, we're going to do some inventory on this. Like, she's like, what in your right mind did you think that this would be okay? And she's like, we're going to give it 30 days. And I'm like, what? She's like, 30 days, no contact with him. And we're going to wait, and we're going to do the work. And you need to sit in this. This isn't the adult behavior where you just make these drastic, impulsive decisions without really understanding why and learning from it. Oh my gosh. And it was agony, because then he came back at like 2 weeks, and he begged and pleaded, and she was like, it's no contact for 30 days. And I had to tell him, you got to go. And, it was agony. It was my first.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
But what she said, I love it. You have to sit in this.
Yeah.
You have to sit in your own shit and smell it.
Right. I mean,
you're gonna repeat it.
I set the ball rolling. Yeah. Right. And so until I understood, what, and I'm just so amazingly good at rationalizing and justifying things that when it had to be something this extreme to look at my sober behavior to say, you are not okay. Like, your brain needs washing, because this is look at how many people you hurt. Like, I had to tell my parents inevitably that I did this. Like, my brother ran into us at the grocery store.
Oh, he didn't know you'd gotten married?
No.
Oh shit.
I know. And the brother who I was trying so hard to like make everything work for, and it was a nightmare. And he sent me a long text later that afternoon after he met my husband randomly at the grocery store. And my brother was like, I don't like, this hurt so bad. You didn't want me and my wife to be a part of your life. Like, I don't like this hurt worse than anything that you could have done. And I mean, we hurt people sober, right? And nobody really cares about the substance use. It's our behavior. Yep. So that's why, none of this is about abstinence. It's about changing the woman that I am. And, the first step is going to be abstinence. It has to be. I can't start working on a brain that isn't, clear and available.
Right.
But man, this really gave me, you know, the evidence that I needed of like, holy, I'm crazy. Like I will rationalize, justify, you know, what I need to get what I want sober. And, you know, she and I then went through the steps and he did end up leaving me alone and we did get an annulment. We just agreed that it was better off, you know, and that he went his way and he's still, I think, relapsing, you know, and this is.
Did you see him in the rooms much more after you got annulled?
No.
He was gone.
Yeah. Yeah. He's,
Well, kind of like Kat when she got her divorce.
right.
Ran for 7 years.
Totally.
You know, just,
Yeah.
they're not done. They're not done digging.
Yeah. And just go ahead.
Do you think you didn't tell your brother because you subconsciously knew like shit was gonna hit the fan?
Yeah, I mean,
Or were you just
I
like,
have this.
I'm not?
I also have this, you know, fuck it, let's figure it out later type of
Oh, yeah.
attitude.
I
you
still
know,
have it,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's what makes
Ask
us
for forgiveness later.
right? And
Yeah.
I mean, that's also what makes me fairly successful in other areas of my life, right?
Like take the risk.
exactly,
Right.
exactly.
You know, is the juice worth the squeeze?
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that we analyze in business all the time, right? Is the juice worth the squeeze? And, you know, and when we do that in our personal life with another human being, it's not safe.
Right.
It is not. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do it to Katie still every once in a while. I'll do something stupid and go, God, I hope she don't get mad at this one.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, I'd have been better off to say it up front. I mean, it's the same
Right.
thing you're talking about, right? I'd have been better off to talk to her up front and take the no, right?
Yeah.
But I
Take
don't want
the
to hear no.
Right.
No. And
Right.
you're right. You don't want, you just want, by God, I'm going to do it my
And if it
my
works
way.
out exactly how I got it planned,
Right.
it'll be great.
She'll be happy.
You'll be happy.
You'll be happy.
Yeah.
No, I hate that about me. I
Yeah.
hate that about me.
Yeah.
I'm still bad at it. Business wise, successful at it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Personal life, it
Yeah.
bites me too many
Yeah.
times.
Well, and you know, I've had so much good sponsorship, and they tell us that you know, recovery and especially this 12 steps is a process of unlearning, right? And we've had so many unhealthy, you know, coping mechanisms throughout our life that seemed to have worked. But then you get in a community of people who can be very honest with you and hold you accountable.
Right.
And, you know, the things that you've done to survive, yeah, they may have helped you get from, you know, day 1 to 2, you know, from place A to B, but really they're causing you and others a lot of harm. And this is where we get to take a step back and really look at our behavior and, you know, hiding, living that double life. You know, you can't, like, the scales start to fall
Right.
off. Thank goodness he doesn't show us everything at once, right? Because the things that
Terrifying. Terrifying if he
truly,
did.
I mean, it's been layers,
Yeah.
and
Onions.
yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about recovery is that this is a process.
Oh, yeah.
We never stop.
No.
We never stop learning. We get to come in here and, you know, it, like, nowhere in the big book does it say that time is our tool, that abstinence and the length of time sober is a tool. Like, in my toolkit, is it like, okay, you know, prayer, meditation, inventory, time sober? No.
I
The road actually narrows.
it exactly does.
as you
Yeah.
stay sober longer.
Yeah.
The shit you can get away with at 2-3 years sober, you ain't getting away with it.
Right.
No.
Right.
God
No.
narrows that road
Yeah.
for you.
Like, I can't even park in, you know, like, they have these parking spots in California at my gym for electric cars.
EVs. Yeah.
And I feel so bad. I did it one time and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I can't do that stuff, you know?
That's what was funny last night when Kat got in my truck. I was parked in the handicap. I got the placard. She's like, "What's that about?" I'm like, "My wife got me that because of all the surgeries and how hard
I
it
didn't
is
know
for
that
me."
you were a bionic man. Like, that's wild.
Yeah, no, that was when I don't use those unless, like, last night was like right in front of the hotel and I knew I was just coming in to pick you up and go.
Sure.
Right. I won't use them like a store or something like that. I'm with you, right?
Yeah.
I feel guilty. I feel bad about
Yeah.
doing it because I can walk, right? It ain't fun, but I can do it.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. I feel
Yeah.
guilty about doing it.
Yeah. It's the road definitely narrows. And, you know, as you get, like, more and more sober, you know, the things that I do today, to stay sober, like, I feel like I just have to add more and more and more, you know, like, it's insane. Even to stay fit. Like, the things I have to do, the list of things I go through to stay spiritually and physically fit, you know, it's like,
What do you get in your 40s and 50s? It gets delicious.
I am 40.
Oh, well, then wait till you hit your 50s.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's crazy. Like my maintenance stuff. And then you like lay your head down and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to do that all again tomorrow.
God does it for me. Larry, they give me, because I don't know what balance is.
But you see,
most
that's
people
the
couldn't
thing.
do,
Right.
like Larry started, most people couldn't do what I do.
Yeah.
But
You know, and
apparently I can because God just keeps.
well, and I say this,
Yeah.
and we made fun of Rob here the other day that I think he's still working off all the methamphetamine that he did back in high school, right?
Right,
Because
right.
the guy's like an energizer freaking bunny.
Yeah, yeah.
I look at him, I watch him, and I get tired.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're just in two different aspects of, two different.
I got some
aspects.
step work done this morning.
I
With
got-
a young man.
Yeah.
10, 11, and 12.
I'm not talking about that part of it. I'm talking about he runs, he's every night he's got something going on. And I do too. It's not that I shouldn't, I'm constantly gone for work, constantly. My phone, work is going on right over here right now. But he's got work going on, and then he's got 3 or 4 or 5 sponsors going on, sponsees going on at the same time. And he's in the jiu-jitsu, and he's into the working out. It's like, dude, stop. You're making me tired watching you.
Yeah.
And for me, I have to have a balance in my life, right? If I do that, in a matter of a short period of time, I'm going to tip over, and I'm not mentally right. I'm not mentally healthy because I don't feel like I stay that spiritually fit that I need to, because I think that's the reason why I get that tired and that fatigue, because I'm not staying the spiritually fit that I need to.
Yeah.
Right. And that's something I have to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Where Rob is so spiritually fit and mentally fit and physically fit that he can maintain that level. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I mean, you're 3. How much time do you have? 3?
3 April, May, June, July, August, 3 years, 6 months. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, but on the other side of that too, is I just started another company. Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm like trying to get that train rolling the right direction. So I'm in the air in travel.
And once that happens, it'll settle down.
I
a little
think
more.
so. I'll get a little different balance. The one thing about, and Katie recognizes it as well, that when I get to a spot where I feel extremely comfortable is when I'm dangerous, right?
Start itching.
I start itching.
Yeah.
I don't like that, right?
Yeah.
So I constantly got to be adjusting my balances on where I'm going. I got to keep myself uncomfortable a lot. Because if I get comfortable, it's not good. It's not a healthy spot for me. It's not.
And when something opens up for me, because with this amazing book you gave me, the one thing that should have been, would you say this in every journal is, who did I help today?
Yeah.
All my boys know before I leave the driveway in the morning, whatever time I'm leaving, I ask God one prayer.
Yeah.
Who can I love on today?
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's the cashier at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, it's always people in your home.
Yep.
But, and whenever something eases up for Rob, I'm like, hey, babe, we finally got a day open.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob, would you take me through the steps? Would you help me? Something's going to,
Right.
And I don't say no.
Yeah.
Because like last night when we were saying, when I asked someone to help me, basically you're asking this man, would you help me save my life?
Yeah.
That's what I heard. That's what I hear.
And on the other side of that too is I don't get asked that.
No, I know.
And it may be because I have that fuck you look on my face. Don't come and approach me on it. And that's fine. But I still believe this, that God's going to use me in the manner that he wants to use me. I have never said no. I've never said no to anything, right?
Yeah.
Somebody asked me to do it, I'm going to do it.
But everybody, Kat, do you believe this? I believe. I mean, we hear it in the Bible as well. But when people come in the rooms and you have a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, you're given a gift. Not everybody's gift is sponsorship.
Right.
So it could be service to another. There's got to be
Yeah.
some form of service. Find out what that is and exercise that gift in the rooms or wherever God's got you, and you will be blessed. You will be, and I believe that.
Yeah. I truly believe that too, Rob. And he uses me in a lot of different ways.
Yes.
I was at work on Friday, and I had a lady come up and knock on my office door. She said, "You got a couple minutes? Can I talk?" And I said, "Sure, come on in." She shut the door behind her, right? And I was like, "Oh shit." And she came in and she started talking to me about a relative of hers, and she wanted my advice on some stuff and wanted to talk to me about, where she should go, how should she handle it, and she was just so he uses me in a lot of places, right?
Yeah.
I walk around with the A triangle on my arm all the time because I sit in airports all the time.
Yeah.
And I've been asked multiple times right in the middle of a airport what that is.
Yeah.
Some people think it's satanic, but I've had an opportunity to witness.
And God does not need our great abilities. We don't have any.
No.
What he desires is our availability.
Right.
If you'll
No.
make yourself available to him, he'll use you.
Yeah.
and that's what I said. I have never said no.
Yeah,
Ever.
no, I know.
Right. I've never. I mean,
But you've been successful with one.
Huh?
You've been successful with one.
Oh yeah,
He
Blake's
chased
doing
three
well.
of them. He chased 3 of them out of his house. Cat, slam the door. Get the.
I threw one down the stairs.
No, you didn't.
Oh yeah, I did. Told him
yeah,
to get
you
the
did.
fuck out of my house.
Why?
Because he's a dick. Listen, don't waste my time. Don't waste my fucking time.
Rob Thomas is rule 4.
Yeah,
Rob Thomas is
don't.
rule 4.
I'm just, when I'm not a therapist. I'm not, right? I'm
Yeah.
not.
We're
I'm not a
sponsors.
marriage counselor. I'm not a marriage
We're
counselor.
not your doctor either.
I don't need that shit. You're an alcoholic. Let me help you. And he just kept kicking the can. I'm like, and I was probably extreme. I don't remember the exact detail, but I know I was busy. And I had set aside 2 hours of the afternoon that particular day, and he came to me with the same bullshit that he had the week before, and it pissed me off. I said, "Really, you're coming here with that bullshit?" And he blah blah blah. And I said, "You know what? Just get the fuck out of my house. Get the fuck out of here."
Go get finished, boy.
I was
Come on.
And what happened? Where is he?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't. You know what? I think about him. He's in my phone still. I should probably reach out to him.
Yeah.
Right. And with any luck, he found a sponsor that was going to be patient with him and help him through it.
Yeah.
Or he went and got ready.
Or
He
got
went and
ready.
finished digging.
I mean, I helped a guy that had a wet brain. I worked with him for.
Oh, yeah, Chris.
I mean, I worked and worked and worked and worked. I moved him around. Took him everywhere. Finally started to get his memory back. Worked with him.
That was
I
impressive,
mean,
actually.
I did a lot for that guy, and took him into Maynard's, got him involved there, and he was doing what I thought was wonderful. His sister I got to know real well. She lived in Florida. She was, we were working together. And he called me up one day and said, "Hey, I had a glass of wine." I'm like, "Okay, now what?" And he was like, "Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and go have some more." I'm like, "You motherfucker." And I just hung up. And I can't go down that. I can't do it. I'm not going to fucking chase him. I can't do it. I will go down and I could be wrong in this, but I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I can't be available for somebody else, right? Because that guy doesn't have a willing heart. He's not willing to work anymore. If I spend all my time and effort on this one human
Well, the book
being,
says we don't chase alcohol.
I don't.
I agree with that.
I'm not going to chase him.
Yeah.
I did you know what? And I say this in football games when I coach all the time. I don't give a shit what that scoreboard says. I don't. If you gave it 100% in the game, if you gave it 100%, win or lose, that's all that matters. That's it. And when in this rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous and in this game that we have, if you're giving it 100%, I'll do anything you want. I will do anything. You want me to come iron your clothes, sweep? I'll do anything for you if that's going to help you stay sober. If you're giving it back, right? If I see you're doing something to help yourself, the minute you stop helping yourself, fuck you.
Yeah.
That's how I protect my heart.
Yeah.
Right. That's how I protect, because I loved Chris. I loved him. I'd have done anything for that guy. I would have. I still would. If he called me right now, I still would. In fact, I think he butt dialed me here about 2 weeks ago. I'm not for sure, but I think he did. And I saw him come across my phone and I was like, And I answered it and there was nothing there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened, but anyways, I don't know how it got down that one, but that was a rabbit hole. I think it's just that willingness to help somebody.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I want to help. And I was telling you this last night. I think the difference between me and the job where I'm in now compared to where I was at before I would tell people what to do. Now I want to show people how to do it.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a difference in my giving
Yeah.
heart.
Lead
I
by
want
example.
to teach.
Yeah.
I want to teach. I want to give everything I have. I want to give to somebody else so they can go and give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Right. That's what that Rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous taught me. I give it back because that man gave it to me.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to continue to give that to somebody else, because if I didn't give back what he gave to me, then I'm being selfish with this wonderful book that was written, right? This wonderful program. I have to give it away.
Yeah.
That's why we say we're sober out loud. We have to do that. Right. They say that, the rooms of AA, we're not selfish people. I'm selfish when it comes to helping other people because I'm helping you so I can stay sober.
Yeah.
That's selfish.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking proud of it because I'm going to stay sober. But I'm going to give you every ounce of me I can, no matter what, but I'm doing it for myself.
Yeah.
And if you get sober and stay sober, good for you.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it for me.
Well, you've heard the story about Bill, probably, especially with your home group, but he had people in his home and he would just bring the wet ones in his home. They're
Crazy.
sleeping everywhere. Right. And
People, suicides.
One guy committed
right.
suicide.
Somebody, right. And put his head in the oven,
Right.
killed himself. And
Miserable.
and yeah, I mean, imagine, oh, poor Lois.
Could you imagine?
But like he went to Lois and just said, this isn't working. I'm bringing all these people in, and we're going broke because I'm trying to save them.
Right.
And, no one's staying sober. And she said, you are.
Yep.
So don't you dare stop.
Right.
Because you are staying sober.
Right.
And it's like, that's why we do this, like it's not, I have tons of people, women, like, they ask me to sponsor. I'm like, sure, call me. They don't, and it's like, I just have to be willing. Right. And then,
and I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I've said it. I'm not going to sponsor unless God hits me over the top of the head. Well, with Blake, God hit me right over the top of the head. I didn't, there was no way I was getting away from that.
God brings me a certain type, because God's had great success. Right. Since 9 years ago, when I kind of did the way that, with the book, basically. But I've got my 4 rules. As long as I stick to those.
What are your 4 rules?
Don't lie to me, and I won't lie to you.
Okay.
What I say to you and what you say to me stays between you, me, and God. It ain't my wife's fucking business. It ain't your wife's fucking business. 3, anytime you want to go a different direction, go, grow. I'm just here to help. You won't hurt my feelings.
Yep.
Rule number 4, don't waste my fucking time. If you break one of those, I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah.
Find someone else.
Yeah.
And then I'm on. And when they're ready, because God brings me the broken, usually they're, and we go. And it's been great. We've got a room full of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they go and touch the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. It's Jim went back to Denver and tried to start, he did. He started his own men's group the same way we started our men's group. It's just an accountability group is all it is. Yeah. Right. That Monday night group is by far my favorite day of the week.
Yeah.
Mine too.
It's not even a Monday. It's not even an AA meeting. It's just there was 26. There was 26 of us there last Monday night. And it's just, we read, we're reading in the traditions right now and
you can't bullshit them.
No,
you can't bullshit us.
Yeah.
There's enough people in that.
Right.
We're going to pull your pants down if you need it.
There's enough people in that room. I can promise you, Rob likes to pull pants down more than anybody in that room though.
It's a metaphor.
Anyways.
But that's where the phone came in. There's a lot of them that know the phone code in case you want to look at it. Go ahead. We need that kind of accountability because we are one drink away.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that accountability, being able to have an environment where men can be men and have conversations is people desperately need that. I think people now more than ever are hungry for community.
Yes.
We have more, opportunities to connect with social media and, technology, but we're isolated because social media makes us antisocial.
Yep.
It really does. And, it's this counterfeit connection, right? Of like actually thinking, because I talked to, this person on social media that they care about me. And it's like, listen, like, the desire is there, but real true connection happens, when we're physically in the same presence, like
eyeball to eyeball.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, Zoom was incredible. And I believe it. I know a lot of people that got sober, on Zoom through COVID. I know. Like, but if that's all you have, it's certainly better than nothing. But the real connection, true connection, because you can't bullshit somebody when you're sitting next to them.
Body language is
right.
Body language is important. Right? Body language and the way I read people's hands and reads their eyes tremendously. What somebody does with their hands,
especially someone who's at where we've been, and they're trying to
don't bullshit a bullshitter.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't lie to a master manipulator.
No.
Right.
No.
I was going to ask you another question. You never went to rehab, right? You never went to rehab because you said that you just felt like that was admitting that you're an actual alcoholic.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't really ready to fully tell the world that I had this problem. I was really hoping that I could just go get 30 days and chill out.
Right.
Yeah.
So at what point, if you said this earlier, I apologize because this always is a good question I like to ask. At what point did you sit back in the chair and you go, fuck, I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And I'm of the worst kind.
Yeah.
At what point did you do that?
It wasn't until my sponsor walked me through the first, 45 pages of our big book and really the doctor's opinion and broke it down to me because how I had been rationalizing it for so long was, well, I still had these external things, right? I still had my job. I still had an education. I still had my car, my apartment. I hadn't gone to jail, no DUIs.
Yet.
Yeah, exactly.
My life is not unmanageable by God.
Right.
Look at this.
Right. And, we have such this incredible ability to lie to ourselves.
Oh, boy.
That, it really, truly, took somebody sitting down with me and explaining that it's not about the quantity. It's about what happens when you have one.
Right.
And if you want to learn about my alcoholism, look at me sober, because I still have those obsessive thoughts, right? Like my spiritual malady is still there.
Yes.
My alcoholism will pop up over here, will pop up over here. It will just be a matter of time, before I find another area of my life that's unmanageable, because I really it just morphs into different areas in my life.
But healthier ways.
Sometimes.
So,
and this is interesting. I have a good friend in New York, and he's got 4 years clean and 8 months sober and gambling anonymous. And he and I met, and we were talking about how he's like, I was literally in prison. He took insane amounts of money out of his trust, gambled away his apartment with his fiance. They have a little baby. And he's like, but people just thought because I'm not shooting heroin and not doing coke that I'm fine. He's like, I burnt my entire life down sober. And that, so many times we don't talk about these underlying cross addictions that, they say that gambling is a deadly disease, not because you like swallow a poker chip, but because you'll either kill yourself or somebody kills you to pay up on those debts, right? You can't actually get out of the hole that you're in. And he just has this heart for helping people because, we can walk around again acting like everything's fine because I've got rid of the substances, but look at that compulsive behavior that is actually, burning down my entire life that nobody's talking about.
And you don't even realize it's happening until it's too late. With gambling,
pornography as well.
Yeah,
Totally.
with gambling and pornography, it's the same slippery slope, right? You don't know until it's gone. Alcohol, tend to get more clear because the DUI comes in, right?
Yeah.
The wife leaves, right? You lose your job. There's signs for you that you're an alcoholic.
See, my wife said I got addicted to God when I got sober.
Well, I got addicted to alcohol when I lost all my weight. Right? When I stopped eating so much, I got addicted. I'm a very addictive personality. Right?
Well, I mean, but like Kat talks about, our drives, because we're driven people in the gym for me.
Yep.
Sponsorship, whatever. I'm always driven to do something. And if I got an idea, 100%.
Yep.
There's no halfway.
Right.
And it's just it's not halfway. It's not alcoholism or it's not drugs anymore. Right. It's good things, but you can still take it overboard. Which I have. At times. Mm-hmm. But what do you want me to do? Either a bottle or tearing my body down in the gym.
Right.
Well, neither one are healthy,
right.
but.
Right. Yeah.
Kat, you are everything that I imagined.
Oh,
everything.
Thank you.
Oh, then the next, if she's going to stay, I got.
Oh, we got time. We got time.
What do you have?
Just questions. No, it'll be for the
I got time.
Can I pee really fast?
Oh, honey, I'm about ready to explode right here. Yeah, we're out of here.
Are you pausing it?
Thank you for joining us today.
We hope you learned something today that will help you.
If you did not, come back next week and we'll try again.
If you like what we heard, give us a 5-star review. If you don't like what you heard, kiss my... You can't say that, can you? Anyway, if you don't like what you heard, go ahead and tell us that too. We'll see what we can improve. We probably won't change nothing, but do it anyway.
Hey, thanks, Rob. Come back next week and hopefully something will be different and something will sink in.
This has been Recovery Unfiltered.